there was a lady went to Germany to find out. Her brother was killed in Felsberg. She wanted to find out the street and where he was killed. After a while, she went to a bar, and there she was asking in a bar where the same questions about the street where it was. So Mr. Wilhelm came up, and he says, "No, there's no more street there because they're redone. It's all the structures. It was already redone after the war." She pulled out the book, this history book, and on that book there was this plane that I shot down, and they showed him the map where shows on the book where the street was. So he goes, "No, there's no such street." And then he goes, "How about this plane?" She replies, "Antonio Vittiglio shot down this plane." He says, "Do we have this plane under reconstruction because that was pulled out of the ground because the farmer, when he was working the land, he got tired of it, of going around a damn plane. He put a cable to it, he put it behind a tractor, and he pulled the plane in a tank trap, and then he buried it." So many years passed, so this guy, Warren, he unearthed the plane, and now he's reconstruction, and it's been reconstructed. The lady couldn't find the street, so they went back to Texas, and they left my name to Mr. Wilhelm. One day I got called from Germany. Mr. Wilhelm called me up and said if I wanted to go and verify the shoot down of that plane, because there was one guy that went over there, claimed the plane, but he didn't have the right answers. There was a Mr. Myers, Mr. Warren, Wilhelm, he was part of and two other guys. Mr. Myers, he was the chief that was asking the questions. So he pulled out a bunch of papers, and he goes, I'm going to ask you a question. He says, "What do you think? What is your thought of when you you hit that plane and it came down on fire?" And I replied, I said, "No, sir, that plane didn't come down on fire. That plane, when I hit it, I saw mist, a fog, some like a cloud, whatever, but it did not come down on fire. Wasn't even smoking." So yeah, he goes to his friend. So he says, and then he goes, "How many shots did you fire at that plane?" I said, "Sir, in between the two planes, I don't know. Like I said before, on the other, when I shot the first plane, I hit it, caught on fire, but went. It didn't come back. So this one here didn't come out on fire. It just looked like a mist. And it came down." He pulled out a sheet out, and he says, "I have over here," like if he was reading it. He says, "I have over here that the pilot was picked up by two Americans on a Jeep, and he was alive, and he was in between two Americans, and they were taking him away on a Jeep." I say, "No, sir." I said, that pilot, when I got there to make him a prisoner, he was dead. He was laying down alongside the plane, and he was stripped. No clothes on. He was stripped to the underwear. He would just have his underwear. That's all it was. He goes, he hit my shoulder, and he goes, yeah. So then he goes to me, "What do you think of the pilot?" I said to myself, "Get cats. What am I saying about the pilot now? What am I going to say?" So I said, "Sir, I think he was a very good pilot. He was doing his duty to defend his country, and I was doing my duty, and I think I call him a hero." Then he slapped me really hard. Yeah. So we got in a van, and he took me where I was with the machine gun when I shot that plane down. So they took me in a spot, and he said to me, we got off the van, and he says to me, "Do you remember this spot?" I said, "Sir, yes and no." So he says, what do you mean yes and no? I said, this is the spot where I was on a truck on a ring with the machine gun. This is the spot over here. Fine. But the terrain is not the same, I said, because across the way there was a hill. That hill is not there no more. That's why I'm a little confused. That's why I don't want to say it is. So the interpreter told him, and he goes again, yeah, 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 yeah. And he hit me again on the shoulder. And he goes, what else do you remember of this place? I said, sir, I don't think I remember anything. And then I remembered. I said, yeah, I remember something. I remember there was a huge bakery shop over here, but it's I don't see it around. He goes, yeah, yeah. First, you go down that hill. That's where the plane was when you shot it down, where it come down. So I had to go down a little hill, go down there and stand by. They were taking the pictures because they were writing a book and was going to go on television. So I went down there, they took that shot. I went up and they said, get in the wagon. So we got in the wagon again. So we got in the wagon and they took me to the spot where the pastry shop was, so you'll believe it or not. And that was the clinch of the thing. They took me back. They took me where the plane was. They're rehabbing this plane now. They said, we want to show you where you hit the plane. So we got there and we took a few pictures of the plane. And he says, you know where you hit the plane? I said to him, I have no idea. So he says, we're going to show you where you hit it. And you're going to put your finger on it and we're going to take a shot of you with the camera. So believe it or not, I hit that damn plane on this cooling system tube. That's what blinded him. That's when he stopped shooting at me. It blinded him. That's when he came over me and he belly down. And he said, this is where you hit it. They took me in a museum. And in the museum, they took me in the museum. They took out a shell, and they said to me, "This belongs to you." It was a machine gun shell. That shell was in the chamber when they took they picked up the airplane. Was in the chamber in the machine gun.